Kamala Harris has good reason to be joyful. A shocking study reveals that Vice President Harris gets 84% positive coverage from the big three liberal networks, while Donald Trump gets 89% negative coverage. But despite the Harris honeymoon advantage, the media is shocked to discover that the race is tight. Take a listen to this.
We don't want to be tied. I don't like being tied with Donald Trump because we've had now 20-plus days of positive press. He's been falling down the stairs, slipping on banana peels, and poking himself in the eyeball. We should not be tied.
It's a tied race.
That's scary.
It's a tied race.
That's scary.
All right, Greg, how fair is it to the American electorate that the media took the most unpopular president, a vice president in history, and turned her into some kind of a savior when she literally is not questioned by the press, and she kind of edits her own headline?
Basically, they took a shotgun wedding and turned it into a honeymoon in Vegas. Remember, these were the people that told us Joe was sharp as a tack, the world would end due to climate change. Kamala wasn't a border czar, and the Hunter's laptop was fake. I always keep thinking, how will history portray this era when all the people in the media, some of them will become historians. They're going to be the ones that write the books, and it's going to be their history, not ours. Makes you question history books in general. So they're mad that they're tied. Why is it that the country is in a rough state under the Democrats, and they're surprised it's tied? Why is it in this country it's always ending up as a tight race? You could have Jesus Christ versus Pauly Shore. It's going to be tight. So is it possible that exactly half the country feels exactly the opposite in the same amount as the other side? No, it's impossible. This is a media construction, a media machine versus a probable outcome, a natural outcome. And it's their role to keep it in their hands and not yours.
Dana, a media construct. They create the positive stories, and she goes from unfavorable to tie.
Right, and so, here's the thing, Judge, it doesn't get easier for her from here, right? The easiest part has been the last 4 weeks. It's been perfectly constructed, very scripted. You have a convention. Barack Obama's going to sing your praises tonight. Michelle Obama's going to sing your praises tonight. All of that gets you some really good press, and still they're tied. So it doesn't get easier. But here's the thing. Republicans, they just have to keep charging ahead, because early voting in North Carolina, one of the battleground states, starts in just a few days. So we are going to have a debate on September 10th. I think that early voting in North Carolina happens like right around then.
Wow.
So Republicans have to act like they're 10 points behind now, no matter what the media says.
All right, Harold, your take?
So first off, I do hope that if Pauly Shore and Jesus were in a political contest, that Jesus would win in a lopsided way.
What do you got against Pauly Shore, Harold?
Nothing. I just believe in Jesus. The notion that Trump should be behind more because of what's happened here. I think Cedric Richmond, a congressman who has been active in the was in the administration, now active in the Biden campaign, said yesterday, I think on Brett's show, that this is what we should view the convention as the beginning of a very, very tough campaign where Democrats are going to have to lay out a vision for the country, particularly a vision that resonates with middle-class voters. If we view this as some sort of coronation and celebration for victory, we're going to lose. Democrats will. And I think there's a realization here. As I listen to, I differ a little bit with Jesse. I've walked the floor a little bit and listened to a lot of delegates. There's an excitement here, but it's an understated excitement, because we realize we have a lot of work to do between now and November to win this campaign.
That's why Harold's a great politician. It is an understated excitement.
Indeed.
It's like a mostly peaceful protest, Harold.
No.
Greg, it would be very small of me to whine about rigged election coverage or the incompetence that almost cost Trump his life, or the coups or the lawfare and the usual hoaxes. I'm better than that. It's just going to make the Republican Party stronger when they win, and it makes the mandate even more demonstrative. This is what's going to happen. Fresh off the press, Reuters, the head of the Kamala super PAC said, quote, our polls are not nearly as rosy as the public polling shows. This isn't really a tied race, and the fact that Democrats are whining that it's a tight race shows you they have no lives. We're always tied, Republicans. We're always down or always tied, and we win half of the time. The difference is Democrats, the whole purpose of their life is power and control. So when they lose, it's like an existential earthquake. Look what they did with Biden. He was down a little in the polls, and they whacked him. What's going to happen when Kamala starts losing? My God, these people need to get a life. Lose once, you come back stronger.
All right.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.